Hey, it's Wednesdays with Keegan and Keegs. We sat here on Monday and we speculated out loud or question out loud. When was the last time the Toronto Blue Jays hit a home run? And what do they go do in the series opener against Tampa? They hit 3.
See how much more fun it is to watch this sport and how much easier it is to win when you hit home runs. That was, for me, maybe their most encouraging game of the entire season. And getting power from some unlikely guys like Josh Smith, you're not going to bank on that. But from Okamoto and from Alejandro Kirk, who's hot as hell right now, man. Like in August, I think he's hitting near 400. The OPS is over 1,000. That's really exciting. Really exciting to see what Alejandro Kirk is doing right now. And when you hit for power, nothing else matters. It's a beautiful thing. And that was the most enjoyable game to watch this season, I think, and probably the best they've looked this season, given who they were playing.
And considering Soriano was not Soriano-esque, the bats picked him up.
And we forget about it. If the Blue Jays had played their normal 2-1 game with 8 singles, we're talking about Soriano. Can the Blue Jays get him under control? Blah, blah, blah. We don't have to talk about that now because of the power. And it lets your pitchers breathe a little bit. And it's not going to be like this every night. They're not going to score 10 a night and hit 3 homers a night. But if you can just turn up the offense a little bit, then your pitchers can take the mound knowing that there's a little bit of room to screw up. You can be aggressive because you will have a little bit of help. Up until this game, Blue Jays pitchers were taking the mound trying to throw a shutout every time. And that's an easy way to screw up. You're going to be too tight. You're going to try to be too fine. So this really has impacts beyond just the lineup itself, I think, if they can do it a few more times.
I have to bring up a negative. The Matt Waldron experiment, I believe, has to end and end now.
And especially with the burnt bullpen around him. Like, if your job is just to save the bullpen, you better save it. Louis Varland can have the odd blown game. That's all right. It'll happen along the year. But when your job is just to come in and mop up and save everyone else, you got to nail that job. There's no way around it. You absolutely must nail your job. And for Waldron to come in as a knuckleballer as well, that's a unique situation. If you're going to be the different wacky guy that is hard to catch and stuff like that, you got to be good. You got to be worth it. So those 4 hits allowed, 2 runs, made it closer than it needed to be. Ideally, he would have just finished out the game with 3 innings, and you don't have to use Spencer Miles again. But that spot in the bullpen, I think, can be better occupied, whether it's one of the young bulk guys like CJ Van Eyck, Chad Dallas, Lazaro Estrada is now off the 40-man. Ricky Tiedemann, though, I mean, I want to see him back. I think that might have to wait until rosters expand for September. But I'm comparing the upside of Ricky Tiedemann and Matt Waldron, I think it's a very easy conversation.
Any injury news on the Vladdy concussion? Is he still slated? Is he going to be back this weekend?
Well, it was good that we saw him on the field down there in Tampa. There was some footage on the broadcast. And you don't do that unless you've made some progress. If Vladdy was still having serious headaches or really dealing with concussion symptoms, he would be away from the bright lights of a baseball field. Really encouraging that he's out there. And the more I think of it, there's nothing good about this concussion whatsoever. But since this is his reality right now, I do think that 6 or 7 days away from playing could let the rest of his body refresh as well. And Vladdy's had nagging issues all year, back injuries, he's had hamstrings. He always seems to have a wrist thing going on. And there's also part of this, Dan, where like Vladdy's a big dude bouncing around on that field. Like if Brett Bateman is running around a baseball field on turf for 140 games in a row versus Vladdy, that's a different amount of weight coming down on your knees and ankles and hips. That's a different amount of wear and tear on your body just based on how big Vladdy is. It's why larger players sometimes wear down quicker. There's more wear and tear on you. So I think getting the big guy off his feet is helpful. And mentally, I think for him just to not hit into a double play for 6 or 7 days is a good thing, man. And I'm looking for a refreshed version of Vladdy to come back. And right now, it looks like the minimum stay. We'll see, but it looks like he's got a shot.
You mentioned Bateman. And you see a lot of baseball in person, and you get a better appreciation for the amount of ground outfielders have to cover when you're there watching. Are we appreciating Brett Bateman's defense enough? Because he's getting to balls where other center fielders, I assume, have to dive for, and he's catching them on the run.
Yeah, we've been very blessed with center field play, like watching as baseball fans in Toronto for a long time now. Like going back through Dalton Varsho, Kevin Kiermaier, who is maybe his generation's best outfielder. But Brett Bateman, it seems like it's a smoother, like compared to Dalton Varsho. Whereas Varsho still had like a little bit of linebacker DNA to him where he wanted to like catch and smash, right? Whereas like Brett Bateman is more the smooth gliding outfielder and takes really good routes as well, which has been encouraging. You see a lot of guys who are fast, but the ball's hit in the air and they go dip in for a second, then run back. My impression so far is that Brett Bateman's routes have been pretty good. And his arm is very good, which I did not know when they acquired him. Now, offensively, is this going to last? I mean, he's not batting 400. It's not like I'm saying, is this all-star season going to last? But when you're relying only on contact, are those balls going to keep going through? Are those soft liners going to keep chipping right over the infielders? We'll see. Bateman is a hitter who I'm interested to see after pitchers adjust to him a little down the stretch and next year. We'll see if he can still be getting on base at a 350 plus clip. If so, that's really good. And you're looking at a big league center fielder. If his offensive numbers go down a bit, are you looking at more of a Miles Straw type of Nathan Lucas, platoony type thing? Maybe, but it's still big league value. And more than anything, I like what he brings on the bases. You know, the Blue Jays are slow. They're not a fast team. They're not a chaotic base running team. They have good athletes. Like I'm thinking Springer, Ernie Clement, Lucas. Like they're all decent runners, but no real speedsters. Like true speed guys. They don't have that. And Bateman's the closest they've got. Like he has what qualifies as pretty elite speed in Major League Baseball. And if he can turn a double into a triple or take an extra base on a ball in the dirt and score a run down the stretch, man, one run might be the difference between the playoffs or going right home, like, given how this race looks.
Speaking of outfielders, this one's out of left field. Have you seen what Randal Grichuk, former Blue Jay, is doing in Chicago? Grichuk is on fire. I thought this guy's career was over.
He keeps hanging on. I've thought his career has been over several times now, and I just want to bring up his updated stats here because, like, he is a platoon monster at this point. But Randal Grichuk over 71 games, so heavy platooning, batting 291 with 10 homers over 70 games. So that's like a 25 or 30 pace and a 910 OPS. Man, it's he
Imagine
is
Vladdy had those numbers.
Oh, please. He's never walking. He's taken 6 walks this year. Like I love that, man. It's like a guy who's figured out what he's good at the end of his career, and it's keeping him in the big leagues, man. He'll get another contract out of that. And on a really young White Sox team, it's kind of a cool fit. Randal Grichuk, man. Like it feels like forever ago that he was here and signed a contract extension here, which was weird at the time, but he's hanging on, man. I've thought he was out of this league 5 different times already.
Maybe I don't think I'm alone when I want the White Sox to have nice things.
It's been so long and so bad there, and that's one of those markets. I mean, like I always just want an excuse to go to Chicago. It's my favorite road trip, but the White Sox, when it's bad, it's bad. Like I've covered White Sox games where it feels like there's 20 people there, and it's already probably not in my top 29 stadiums. You know what I mean? So it gets a little rough when there's no crowd there.
Mhm.
But the White Sox, like when you go back to their real glory days, like it's such a special baseball environment, man. And they've got such a fun team. Like on top of Montgomery and Murakami, who was just like such a smart signing by them. They're built on power, which is fun. And if they can get some pitching, man, like AL, it's wide open, man. They can just hit their way to like an ALCS after being god awful last year. It's how open it is.
Winning breeds fun, and fun has returned to the Toronto Blue Jays because it was glum days. We spoke about how what was it? Gosman was saying the vibe wasn't the same, and we essentially pinpointed, yeah, because you aren't winning, you aren't going to have fun.
Yeah, it's a real chicken or the egg thing, It's we talk so much about clubhouse culture, and it's mostly BS, honestly. It's are you winning or not? Like some clubhouses will just have a couple awful dudes in it to throw off the vibe. I've been there, I've been around it. Some clubhouses, maybe the manager doesn't quite have control of the room, or there are too many veterans who are over the hill, and that can throw off a dynamic. It's real, but like 90% of the time, if you win, you have a good clubhouse culture. And if you win, you suddenly have an identity, whatever that means. We saw that last year. Most Blue Jays teams, most teams don't have an identity, like a real identity. Last year they did. And last year their clubhouse culture and the clubhouse itself were true skills. Like they added to this team. This year it hasn't been that, obviously, but I don't mean that in a detrimental sense. Like most teams don't have that magic, really. Just a few do in baseball every year. But you see the Blue Jays getting back towards it. Like you see it getting close, and it can make the bad stretches feel a bit shorter. If you're George Springer and you're beat up again with 20 injuries, it can make it a little easier to get in there and try to get through an at bat or run for somebody. And I think that comes right from the top. It comes from John Schneider, comes from coaches, DeMarlo Hale, who everybody loves. And you feel it. It's different now. August 19th is a hell of a lot different than July 19th, man. It feels way different.
Max Scherzer gets the ball against Tampa in game 2 of the series, and I can't help but I go into every Scherzer start with an uneasy feeling because he's been so great the last few. You're like, how long is this going to last?
Yeah, we've seen more of the bad than the good.
Yes.
Even going back to last year, and we've seen more injuries than healthy. So even last year, I mean, we talked about this coming into the season, Dan. I think everybody remembers that start in Seattle where he yelled at John Schneider, and everyone says, "Yeah, that's great," and we forget that he had a 5+ ERA the rest of the year, and it was not valuable, right? Over his Blue Jays tenure, 2 years, there's been a small handful of good starts. And they've come recently, so you want to believe in it, but you also recognize everything else that's happened over this time. We'll see, man. Like Max Scherzer is just running on pure adrenaline right now, I think. Like if his thumb hurts, whatever. If his back hurts, whatever. Like, is this the end for Max Scherzer? I'm not sure, but a lot of pitchers don't pitch when they're 43. So this very well could be the end for Max Scherzer. And he is not about to go out on the IL at this point. So he is pitching as well as he has with the Blue Jays right now, and incredibly important. Like he and Shane Bieber, because you know that Soriano will be okay, Cease will be great, but you need Bieber and you need Max Scherzer, man. And just by having Max Scherzer on the mound, I think it changes how this team has felt the last couple weeks. Like, same with George Springer, even same with Bieber, because these are guys who are here to win. If they had traded Max Scherzer and you're rolling out Chad Dallas or something, you're still trying to win, but the rest of the team's probably thinking, okay, we're just going with the rookies now. We're just trying to play out the year. You don't keep Max Scherzer around, a future Hall of Famer, and just lay down, right? So his existence, his presence on the mound alone is very positive, and he's got it going on right now, man. It doesn't need to last forever, just like 7 more starts.
The Blue Jays batting order with the way they're playing, is it becoming less of a shock to you when you see it before the first pitch of every game now?
Oh, I don't even care now. I I was thinking about this when I walked in the Blue
Alejandro
Jays
Kirk batting leadoff. You're like, whatever.
whatever. I was in the Blue Jays clubhouse for the end of that series at home against the Yankees. And I walked in, and when you walk into the clubhouse, off to the right side, there's a tall vertical video board with the lineup. And out of habit, I kind of walked over. And as I looked up at it, I muttered out loud, I was like, I don't care. It's just it is what it is at this point. It's like spring training where day to day it's going to be much different. Some of this is going to be based in logic and reason. Maybe there's somebody who they're really trying to line up against a lefty or a righty, or a lot of lineup decisions are based more on like velocity or where pitchers like to pitch, not just lefty righty stuff. But some of it, more than ever, I think is some gut calls right now. Like Brett Bateman, you're hot, lead off. Charles McAdoo, you had a big double the other day, bat second, whatever. And keeping it fresh like that, I think, is useful at this time of year. If the Blue Jays were 20 games above 500, I would want to see the same lineup every day. Give some consistency and reliability. but they are not. And I think keeping it fresh, that travel ball approach, show up. If you're hot, you're batting. And if you get 2 base hits, you're going to play tomorrow type deal. I like it.
I'm asking ChatGPT if the Jays have used the same exact batting order at all this season, and it's pretty much telling me that's a tough one to find. So AI still not
Still
perfect,
the worst.
especially for sports stuff. Like
That must mean that I haven't written a story about it yet for that to rip off.
that's right. They
what it
need
means.
humans. They need
Con
humans to
artists.
build their algorithm, and then they steal from it.
Unacceptable.
Yeah.
Aggregators.
So you must be very upset that you are not in Tampa. This is my ongoing love of your love of the Trop, and I'm still baffled that you are not there
Hey.
with your front row parking spot to enter the stadium.
I love the Trop. I refuse to fly Air Canada Rouge.
Yeah.
I've retired.
Yeah.
I have a running bet with a friend on the Blue Jays beat that for the next 10 years, beginning this year, so I'm 1 year in, for the next 10 years, and there's money on the line, I will not board an Air Canada Rouge aircraft. And we had a scare recently coming back from Houston because there were 6 or 7 writers waiting for the same flight, and they mistakenly announced it as a Rouge aircraft, which it wasn't. There were some switches because it's Air Canada, so they changed it 90 times, and there's no reason or logic. But they announced it. Okay, flight 123, Air Canada Rouge, and we look at each other, and I'm thinking, if this is not a mistake, I'm out hundreds of dollars right now. But thankfully, it was a normal Air Canada aircraft. But yeah, all of the flights from Toronto down to Tampa proper are Air Canada Rouge aircrafts, and I mean, like complaining about
Cardboard
airplanes.
seats.
Yeah, it's overdone. Everyone knows airplanes suck. Air Canada Rouge is inhumane, and I shall never board one again. So I hope it works out.
Do you have an update on Spencer Arrighetti, who the Jays acquired at the trade deadline? He had a problem with his foot, in which they said it felt like there's a pebble in his shoe, but I
Yeah.
believe he got a new insole to fix that.
It was called Morton's neuroma because I'm just learning a lot this year medically. The reports out of Tampa were that he felt good, and it was right around 50 pitches, I think. So if he feels good, the only worry for me was his velocity. It was down 2.5 miles an hour. Some of that's just the adrenaline of a big league game. It always happens with rehabbing guys. We'll see if that's enough. But frankly, the bar is not high for him to return to the big league rotation right now because you're running a bullpen game on the 5th day. If Arrighetti can throw 65 pitches, isn't that good enough? So I think this is more about is his stuff back and his velocity back than his actual workload. Like, I don't care if he's throwing 90 or 100 pitches. I really don't. But if he can come back and just solidify that spot, throw 65 pitches this time, 80 the next time. After that, the reins are off. That's big, man. And his career ERA, I think it's a 4.6 range. It's not overwhelming. It's not great. He has walked 5 batters per 9 innings each of the last 2 years, which isn't good. But if the Jays can get him in the zone and control him a bit more, that is very important for the bullpen. And I'm interested to see. I think they're still going to decide these next couple of days whether they use the off day to skip a day, how they handle that. But getting back to 5 starters out of the 20 damn starters they've had this year would be very relieving.
I just love that if you are a professional baseball player and you are acquired by the Blue Jays at some point during this season, you will make it to the majors regardless of anything that may be in the way.
No matter what, man. They are just so out of pitchers. Like, who's on the IL? Tyone, Arrighetti, Bowden Francis. Like, we forget about Bowden Francis. He would have
Yes.
made 20 starts this season if he was healthy. Jose Barrios, Cody Ponce is down there. Like, Savage has been in the IL. Bieber started in the IL. Cease even spent time in the IL. It's just unbelievable. Like, I've never seen anything like this season in terms of starting pitching depth.
And despite it all, the Jays are
Here they are.
in the wild card. Thanks, buddy.
You got it.